Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Raymond here again. Today I'm going to share with all of you the comparison between the harmonized property versus a non-harmonized property. Which one is the best to own in Singapore market now? Before I dive straight in, I want to share with all of you that my research and data is based on my own experience and all the cases that I've done for all my clients. Okay, let's start now. Look at the URA policies from 2008 to 2022. All the policies over the years have done to help us shape Singapore property market, how it is going to affect the Singapore property market. Today, I'm not going to touch on everything. I'll be only touching on the harmonization of floor area definition. So what is this about? Harmonization means that the strata area, which is in the past, they include the aircon ledge. But for harmonization, the actual aircon ledge is not included in the strata area. So I'm going to share some examples for you to understand in depth. And for harmonization, this policy, even though it's planned in 2022, but the actual effective date is 1st of June 2023, meaning any new launch project that is after this date will be under the harmonization category. Those before that will be called the non-harmonized. Alright, look at the two better comparison. If you look at this on my left, the first one, this is a harmonized unit. Number 2 is a non-harmonized unit. Both are a new launch project. But if you look into the size, right, which I have differentiate out actual livable space, right, if you can see the harmonized here, 54.9 square meter, meaning all the actual usable space you are paying for it is considered the full strata area. But if you look at the non-harmonized unit, the number 2, the layout, if you can see this, strata area usable is 58 square meter. Although on the plan, right, is 62 square meter. So where does the 4 square meter goes to? This is the 4 square meter that is the aircon ledge. So for the non-harmonized project, the aircon ledge, which you cannot use on that area, is considered into the strata area and you are paying for it. But for the harmonized project, you are actually not paying for the aircon ledge space. So that means the aircon ledge is about 6.5% of the whole strata area for the non-harmonized property. So how do we really go and do a research on this? I'll be sharing with you how does harmonized project going to affect those non-harmonized project. If you compare to the same two units, right, if I put into the context in terms of sales, if both are selling at 2,002 PSF, the buyer who buy a harmonized unit, right, they will be buying 165,000 cheaper than the non-harmonized unit. But will this scenario be coming true? Definitely not. Because why? The harmonized property price, the PSF, will be always slightly higher than the non-harmonized property, because the non-harmonized one is normally the older property, right? So if I put into the real context, non-harmonized selling at 2,002 PSF, it will be selling at 1.467 million. Whereas a harmonized property, this unit, even though selling at 2,004 higher PSF, the price is actually only 1.42 million. So for a buyer who have a choice to buy, am I right to say definitely they will buy the harmonized unit, because buying a harmonized unit at a higher PSF, it still can save 46,000. So this is based on just a number comparison, but now I'm going to share with you examples and my research, the real life research that I did using this example here. So I will be comparing new launch versus a just TOP project, versus later on I'll compare to an older project. So for this new launch versus just a TOP project, I'll be using Lentor Central harmonized project launched in March 2025 versus Amor Residence non-harmonized TOP just late last year or early this year. But why am I using these two is a very fair comparison, because it's of a very same vicinity, pretty near to MRT, even though Lentor Central is even nearer to MRT and there's a mall nearby as well. So if you look at these two better comparison, Lentor Central harmonized strata and actual unit is 678 square feet. Meaning again, to remind that there's no aircon ledge space counted into this strata area. For Amor Residence non-harmonized, 678 square feet strata size as well, but actual usable size is only 645 square feet, because the aircon ledge consists of 33 square feet. So that is why we need to remove the aircon ledge space to make a very apple-to-apple comparison, a more accurate comparison. So Lentor Central harmonized launched 2025. There's a buyer buying at 1.4 million thereabout. or 1.4 million plus minus, right? But if you look into the numbers, the actual data in 2022, Armour Residence 678 square feet, 2-bedder as well, buyers are already buying at the same price of this Lentor Central. That explains why Lentor Central, when they launched, their sales is very good and they did very well. It's because a lot of the owners are buying into the old price tag, because you're buying a brand new property but you are paying old price tag and you are getting a bigger size. So let's compare this 2-bedroom current price comparison. Because of the buyers buying in 2025, I'll use back the own data, but for Armour Residence in 2025, 678 square feet, the 2-bedder is already transacting at 1.6 million already. Imagine you are the owners who bought Lentor Central. Can I say that it's a very high possibility that you can offload your property at 1.6 million because it has already transacted in Armour Residences. And of course, if I want to do a very fair comparison, I need to harmonize the PSF for Armour Residence unit so that I can compare to the harmonized project in Lentor Central. Why is it important to know this? Is because I want to bring this up to those consumers who are very PSF sensitive, because many consumers, they are using PSF to compare to the new project, the harmonized PSF. I think they will have a concept that it is much higher. But if you understand it in depth now, you will understand why is it higher now. So if you want to do a deep comparison, that should be the way we do. What I think and understand is, for you already to do this, right, for the harmonization policy is to really make it in terms of entry price rather as compared to a PSF. In the past time, many of us or many of the consumers will be very PSF sensitive. But when the harmonized project comes in, I think the focus is more to the entry price so that it can maintain the affordability for the public. So for the exit strategy, right, for this 2-bedder, for this comparison, Lentor Central 678 square feet, brand new, bigger in size, same price. Armour Residence, non-harmonized, 3 years old, smaller in size, same price. I would personally think when Lentor Central TOP, it would be a very big competitor for Armour Residence units. That's my take from my research here. Of course, there's a lot of my clients also told me, the much older resale property will definitely be cheaper than the new launch property, right? So I got to compare Lentor Mansion harmonized launch in 2024 versus the Panorama non-harmonized TOP 2019, but the tenure starts in 2013. So it's a pretty old property. 3-bedroom comparison, Lentor Mansion harmonized strata and actual size 904 square feet versus Panorama non-harmonized strata area 990 square feet, much bigger a bit, but the actual usable size is 920. The aircon ledge, there's 2 aircon ledge if you observe here, is already occupying 70 square feet. But if you look at the layout, it's pretty similar. And of course, I think the developer for Lentor Mansion did a very good job because they put a flexi room here, whereas Panorama is a big yard area plus a WC. So I think in the 3-bedder, right, normally the WC now, not a lot of people will need the WC lah, or a 3-bedder. So I think it's a very smart design by the developer. Otherwise, the rest is about the same. But let's dive deep into the price. Lentor Mansion harmonized strata at actual size 904 square feet, brand new, 2024, transacted about 2 million. But if you look at Panorama, in 2024 resale market, if you just look at 990, just now because we compare to the 990 square feet, right, it's also a retransact 2 million property. Think about it. I mean, if you can use the same quantum, will you buy a brand new condo or will you buy a more than 10 years old condo? And of course, why did I box up this whole thing here, right? There's many different sizes of 1012, 1001, right? And the prices can differentiate slightly higher than 2 million. So why did I do this? It's because a lot of people, a lot of consumers might think, hey, mine is bigger than the 990. So mine may fetch a higher price. Is that so? It might be in terms of numbers, but if you dive deep, right, Panorama 990 and 1012, the layout is very similar. Actually, you can't spot much. Even me myself, so experienced, I can't really spot much difference in the layout. I think only maybe the difference in terms of the width a bit. So What I'm trying to share with every one of you, why is it important to know this, is because once it TOP rental mention, will it affect your property exit strategy? Even though your size is slightly bigger, I think you will also be affected. And the most important things to take note after all sharing, not all harmonized project is cheaper than non-harmonized. So if you want to do your own property purchase, please do your own detailed analysis, research on the resale, surrounding it, and of course on the market, and that is before you want to enter into the market, because it will definitely help you in terms of your exit strategy. Okay, buying is always easy, right? Because it's just buy based on whatever budget that you have, but we want to understand whether we can exit the market easier in future. And the very last most important thing is for those homeowners, please do your property health portfolio review, especially those that have new launch project coming up or next to you. Are they going to affect you in future for your exit strategy? Will it be a threat to you when you want to exit the market in future? If you have noticed that it can be a threat, you have to ask yourself, is it a good time for you to exit the market now and swap into something that is more beneficial to you? So thank you for watching my video. Please comment, share, subscribe so that more consumers can have this information and help them in their property wealth journey. This is Raymond here again. I would like to see you in my next video. Thank you.